Okay, we're live. Dude, you're wearing your penguin hat that
Yeah,
you
I always wear.
you castrated. Why did you bring it? Why do you have that?
Because it was in my jacket, and I found it in my jacket, so I just took it off.
That's so funny.
This lady that's parked next to me gave me the nastiest stink eye when I pulled up.
Why?
Just gave it like that.
Alright. What happened at the beginning of last chapter? Okay, yeah, okay, so what happened? Do you remember? One of these days you'll say something when I ask this.
So much happened.
Name one thing.
Ling Wen came in as a guy.
Yeah, okay, so Ling Wen and Pei Ming got captured. Ling Wen was in his male form, and they got captured by this guy Jing Wen. And Jing Wen
Right.
used to be Ling Wen's boss, and they met because back when Ling Wen was immortal and used to just like sell shoes and was poor, she made like a political commentary essay that won in a contest against his like propaganda poem. And so he was kind of miffed by that, and so he like took her under his wing and just like made her run errands all the time and stuff, and was awful to her and super misogynistic. And eventually, um I think it was revealed that Pei Ming and Ling Wen like colluded to like bring him down and stuff. And so now it's the palace of Ling Wen, and Jing Wen is like um a ghost or something, and he's like inside a eunuch statue.
Right.
And Ling Wen just like obliterates it with the brocade immortal. And then because Jing Wen was calling Pei Ming her lover, the brocade immortal, which has a soul inside of a guy, got really pissed off and started chasing Pei Ming and Shilian. And Ling Wen was like, I'm so sorry, I can't control it. I would if I could. And so they're running away, and they fall into a trap, and all of a sudden it starts raining blood, and then it turns to like flower petals when it comes to Shilian, and then Hua Chung shows up and he's back to normal.
Right. Right.
And he subdued Ling Wen. She soundlessly fell to the ground. Now we're on chapter 82, A Long Way to Travel, Blocked on Narrow Road. Treading across the ground strewn with exquisite fragments of crimson, Shilian slowly approached Hua Chung. He saw that the man's shoulders had a few red blossoms scattered on them, and he wanted to brush them off for him, but he realized that gesture would be overly intimate, so he forced down the urge and tucked his arms behind his back, smiling. Not only can you call forth blood rain, you can also make a flower shower. I didn't know that. How fun! Hua Chung walked towards him, wearing a smile, easily dusting the petals from his shoulders. This was something spontaneous, a trick I only came up with today. Originally, it was going to be the usual blood rain, but then it occurred to me that Gugga was present. And wouldn't Gugga blame me if I drenched him? So I held back at the last moment and transformed it into flowers. I'm glad you found it fun. While Shilian wasn't drenched, Pei Ming was completely soaked. He called out from high in the air, "Excuse me, you two. Let me down, won't you?" A few silver butterflies fluttered upwards and slashed the net with their shimmering wings, allowing Pei Ming to finally break free and land steadily on the ground. Shilian looked down and saw a silver butterfly resting on Ling Wen's back between his shoulder blades. "Sunlang, Ling Wen and the Brocade Immortal are both okay, right?" "They're fine," Hua Chung said. "I've only temporarily put them to sleep." Shilian was amazed. The brocade immortal was going berserk, but you managed to subdue it so quickly. Hua Cheng raised his brows. It was fine. For some reason, it didn't seem to want to fight me. Shilian hummed. That's true. When you put it on before, it didn't do anything to you. It even showed itself. Pei Ming walked over. Save the chit-chat for later, you two. Aren't you going to peel the robe off him first? Wouldn't that be inappropriate? Shilian said. Pei Ming didn't seem to think anything of it. He's in his male form right now, so what's there to be embarrassed about? His hands moved as he spoke, but just as they touched Ling Wen's collar, it was like something jabbed him hard. His expression dropped, and he yanked his hands back. They were covered in blood. This robe! It bites! Not only did Hua Cheng lazily explain, the brocade immortal won't let Ling Wen go. You won't be able to take it off him. Pei Ming looked at his bloodied hands. If something like this happens again, will my Lord Ghost King please warn me sooner? General Pei, it's not like he didn't want to warn you. Your hands moved too fast, Shilian said evenly. Hua Cheng snickered. That's it exactly. Their
Right.
will remained strong even after being wounded, and the three headed back the way they came. Someone had to carry the male Ling Wen, and Pei Ming took up the responsibility without a word. Pei Shu and Ban Yue were waiting in the small town as before. The group reconvened near the holy temple of Wu Yang, and Pei Shu strode over to greet them when he saw them return. General, Your Highness, the mural in that temple has disappeared. Pei Ming was carrying Ling Wen in one arm, while the other hand slicked back his blood-soaked hair. What mural? Ban Yue's eyes widened at the sight of Pei Ming covered in deep red. Shilian gave Pei Ming a brief account, and went back into the temple with Pei Shu to investigate. Sure enough, the wall from earlier was now exactly the same as the other three burnt ones. It was as if the mural had never existed. Hua Cheng dropped his hand from the wall. The mural was created by magic. Shilian nodded. Perhaps the one who left it had reason to fear its discovery and didn't dare leave it for too long. Ban Yue was hesitant for a long time, but eventually mustered up enough courage to ask Pei Ming, Are you okay? Pei Ming gave her a look and began to bluff. Why don't you ask your snakes if I'm okay, since they bit me? Pei Shu opened his mouth to defend her, but he wasn't sure whether he should go against Pei Ming. Ban Yue's eyes widened even further, and she mumbled as she tried to argue, But a scorpion snake bite doesn't fester in the whole body like this. Pei Ming raised the left hand that bore the bite mark, and waved it in front of her, proving that he had indeed been bitten. This ironclad proof was as solid as a mountain, and Ban Yue could only apologize. I'm sorry. Pei Shu couldn't watch anymore and patted her shoulder. Don't take it to heart. This wasn't caused by the bite of your snakes. Shilian couldn't watch anymore either, so he spoke up in exasperation. General Pei, can you not tease little girls at a time like this? But that was the very source of Pei Ming's life. He used his spiritual powers to cleanse himself of all the blood and grime, and his face was glowing again as he laughed out loud. Aren't little girls made for teasing? Besides, what little girl? The state preceptor of Ban Yue is how many centuries old? Still worried she might get embarrassed. No one wanted to talk to him anymore. While Pei Shu's broken sentences hadn't healed, he could now move normally, so he took over the task of carrying Ling Wen. The group of them passed through the small town and continued down towards the next layer of Mount Tonglu. A day later, the group reached a small valley. There were steep, tall mountains with rocky bluffs on either side and a path in between. Only when they arrived did Ling Wen, finally, groggily wake. Although he was conscious, he still couldn't move due to the silver butterfly that remained resting firmly on his spine. He didn't react to discovering that he was being carried on someone's back. Why are there so many people? He asked in confusion. How come you're all here? Isn't this Mount Tonglu? This is many? Pei Ming asked. Let me tell you, there'll be more later. You haven't even seen everyone yet. There's enough of us to set up some tables for a round of cards. Shilian wholeheartedly agreed with the sentiment and couldn't help but smile. After a pause, he spoke up. By the way, Ling Wen, Qi Ying chased after you back at Puji Shrine. Where is he now? Don't know, Ling Wen replied. After I reached Mount Tonglu territory, there were too many inhuman creatures swarming around, and I lost His Highness Qi Ying in the crowd. I have no idea where he is right now. Pei Ming sighed at Ling Wen. I can't believe you didn't tell me you were the one who snipped Shu Li's last lifeline. Harsh. Only then did Shilian remember that Pei Ming was also from the kingdom of Zhu Li. However, he didn't seem particularly attached to the kingdom. After all, he was only a general, not a king, and he was even backstabbed by the ruler before he ascended. So there was no trace of grief or anger in his voice. He was just poking fun. However, Shilian still worried that talking too much about Zhu Li would provoke the Brocade Immortal, so he swiftly changed the subject. He turned to Hua Cheng. Sunlong, I'm curious about something. Hua Cheng had been keeping an eye on the two tall mountains ever since they entered the valley. What is it? The kiln of Mount Tonglu. What is it, exactly? Is it really just a giant stove? Shilian asked. Hua Cheng smiled faintly and returned his gaze to Shilian. Of course not. But that's a good question, Guga. He raised his hand and pointed. It just so happens that we can see it now. The group looked in the direction he was pointing, and they unconsciously stopped walking. That's the kiln? Shilian asked. Hua Cheng crossed his arms. That's right. A large mountain was reflected in his inky black eye, standing extremely far in the distance. It sat at the edge of the world. It was so tall it touched the heavens. It was condescendingly enthroned above all the surrounding peaks. Painted a deep, abyssal blue, the mountain's summit was surrounded by a sea of clouds and heavenly winds. A layer of snow could be faintly seen, an eternal field of unmelting ice. The kiln is a live volcano in the heart of Mount Tonglu, Hua Cheng leisurely said. It wakes when a new ghost king is born. With a volcanic eruption? Shilian asked. Correct, Hua Cheng replied. All supreme ghost kings are born accompanied by blazing fires, lava, and ruinous disasters. Imagining that fiery scenario made one's eyes glow red. Shilian was lost in thought, and Pei Ming spoke up. That's too far away. If we continue at this speed, it's going to take a long time to get there. And that's not even factoring in having to slay ghosts en route. Shilian nodded. It's like an arduous childbirth every time Mount Tonglu opens its gates for slaughter. Hua Cheng chuckled. Guga's metaphor is brilliant. He stopped suddenly. We're here. Shilian was dumbfounded. So fast? Not at the kiln, Hua Cheng explained. We've come to a holy Wuyang temple. Sure enough, there was a large temple in the center of the valley ahead, the building listing to one side. This was the second holy Wuyang temple they had come across. Shilian was perplexed. He almost wanted to rub his eyes. Is that temple real? He couldn't help the questions slipping out. In fact, almost everyone doubted that it was real. It seemed so out of place. It shouldn't have been built somewhere like this. Whoever had a temple or shrine constructed in such a narrow valley, smack dab in the middle of a small mountain road? What was this crappy feng shui? Even if its construction was of an act of obstinance, or if the temple had to be built in this location no matter what, it should have at least been placed off to the side. But this holy Wuyang temple was bluntly constructed right in the middle of the valley road, like a brainless little tyrant brazenly blocking the mountain path. Pei Ming lowered his voice. Where there is abnormality, there is evil. Everyone, be careful. Ling Wen was leaning heavily on Pei Shu's shoulder and arduously lifted his head. Everyone, if you don't want to go inside, you can just leap and run across the cliffs. But Shilian responded, No, we have to go in and see if there are any murals. Don't worry, Guga, Hua Cheng said. Go inside if you want to. It's fine. For some reason, since Hua Cheng was the one assuring them, everyone relaxed, and the group resumed their approach. Nothing odd happened while they walked, nor when they reached the entrance. As they passed through the temple doors and entered the great hall, they found that, sure enough, the walls inside this temple were that same blackened color from the aftermath of a blaze. With a light scratch, a small fragment of hardened material fell from the wall, just like in the previous temple. Shilian was tense and alert at first, but he relaxed a bit once he was sure there wasn't anything hiding in the darkness. Let's do this. The ashy, protective layer on the wall was cleaned off bit by bit, and soon enough they'd revealed the mural behind. Shilian and Hua Cheng began to examine it closely. The subject of the mural in this holy temple was completely different from the previous one. They started studying it from the highest level, the top of the painting. A white-clad young man sat poised upon a jade divan, his face quietly handsome, the crown prince of Wu Yang. His eyes were shut tight, and judging from his posture, he seemed to be meditating. However, he wasn't tranquil. The brow of this highness the crown prince was deeply furrowed, and there were even a few drops of cold sweat dripping down from his forehead. Surrounding him were 4 individuals, their expressions heavy with concern. They were the 4 guardian deputies that served under the crown prince, as pictured in the previous mural. Their accessories and attire were exactly the same as in the other painting. Progressing downward, the protective ash layer was still gradually falling apart and had not been fully cleared away. Julien could only make out a chaotic field of red, and he frowned slightly. That's odd. He reached out and slightly touched the wall, puzzled. Was this mural poorly kept? Although he couldn't quite tell what the mural was depicting, he could see that this spread of lines and colors was blurry and hazy, like it was fading away, trapped behind a veil of mist. But if this mural was created by magic, how could it deteriorate like a normal painting? Hua Cheng also observed it intently, knitting his brows. Let's give it another minute. The 2 exchanged glances. Once the burnt, black, hardened material was thoroughly cleaned away and the mural was laid bare, they took a few steps back and stood side by side to look. The full mural was reflected in Julien's eyes. His breathing stopped, and he felt chills. He wondered out loud in shock. Is this hell? No, it's the mortal realm, Hua Cheng said darkly. It was indeed the mortal realm. The painting was packed with houses, dense forests, and crowds of humans. But they were all submerged in a vast, endless sea of flames and flowing lava. The haze of red that Julien had seen earlier was the color of fire. The houses and trees were ablaze. The people's bodies were alight with flames. They were screaming. Those twisted faces were drawn so realistically that Julien could almost hear their wails in his ears. At the center of the painting there was a vibrant red mountain. It looked like a giant kiln growing red with heat, absolutely horrifying. Fire and lava spewed from that volcano. The meaning of this mural is, a volcanic eruption brought down the kingdom of Wu Yang? Julien pondered. Yes, and no, Hua Cheng said. It dawned on Julien. That isn't completely right, because this is a dream. The mortal realm's tragedy portrayed at the bottom of the mural was likely a depiction of a dream, once had by the crown prince of Wu Yang. The crown prince of Wu Yang and his 4 guardian deputies were surrounded in golden light, meaning he had already ascended at this point. The mural showed him as he was tormented by a nightmare, which was why the dream's landscape lines and colors were hollower than those of reality. Some heavenly officials possessed enormous spiritual might and abnormally incredible talents. Seeing even the smallest omen was enough to let them peek into the future. In other words, they could have prophetic dreams. Had the dream of this highness the crown prince become reality? Was this how the kingdom of Wu Yang fell? Humming for a moment, Julien remarked, Someone must want to tell us something. The story in this mural seems like a continuation of the previous one. I think the closer we get to the kiln, the more questions will be answered. Ling Wen was watching something outside the windows and spoke up just then. Everyone, I need to ask you something. Isn't this strange? What is? Heming asked. I'm not sure if I remember wrong, but were those 2 mountain bluffs always so close? Everyone looked out the window. When they had entered, the mountain bluff outside was about 3 meters away. Now it was extremely close, as if it was going to press into them at any moment. Julien was about to go outside to check, but then he heard a series of odd cracking and creaking sounds, like earth and trees being disturbed, or bricks and stones under pressure. Now everyone had noticed. What's going on? The bricks under their feet were quivering, the ceiling above their head was shaking. 1 piece, 2 pieces, chunks of debris, and clouds of dust began to fall. An earthquake? Heming wondered. Only a moment after he spoke, the walls began to crack and wrinkle from the pressure. It's not an earthquake, Julien exclaimed. It's... The mountain bluffs on either side were pressing into the holy temple of Wu Yang that sat in between. There was no time for explanation. Run! He shouted. Let me drink. How long till you have to open your...
Oh no, this fucking guy's got his door open.
Okay, why?
Hold on. I have like they're ready.
Okay, go get him.
But literally this guy has fucking door open so I
Okay,
can't
so you gotta wait.
fucking leave. Oh, let's close it. Are you gonna be yapping?
I'll wait till you get back out. Don't you just have to move it?
Yeah, I don't really want to leave my phone in here.
You don't have to
Let me
leave your
just mute.
phone in here. What do you mean? Yeah,
I'm gonna deafen. Okay.
yeah, do that. Bro, we're going on a trip. Oh, I don't even get to see the inside of his pocket. This is tragedy. Sal, if you got this far, congratulations. Hello? Oh, hello.
Hello?
Your laundromat looks like, a restaurant.
Yeah. It's bright as fuck in there.
Whoa.
Ow.
Ow.
I need to get food.
Okay.
So,
You gonna take me with you to do that?
yeah. I don't know. I don't think you're going to be able to stay. I don't think you're staying up there. I think you're going to fly across the dashboard.
Yeah, I'm not
But I
even
want to
looking at
get.
you.
Hold on, bitch. Oh, I just.
You sideways to me.
Yeah, relax.
You need to get a
Fuck.
fucking vlogger cam set up.
No, not doing that.
Put me at the bad angle, just do it and go get food. You're like, no, you gotta get my good side.
Yet you have to.
I'm gonna scream when you pull into the drive-thru.
Don't. Dude, my wisp. What
Yeah,
is
your
this?
little wisp. You look like Hitalia.
Oh, like the Italy one?
Yeah, the Italy wisp. That's an erogenous zone when he tugs it.
Ah.
You're good. You're good. You're good.
Shut the fuck up.
What are we going to get? What are we eating?
I don't know yet.
Oh my god, you're not gonna decide before you pull out of the parking lot? You're crazy.
I don't know. Get out of here, man. Yes.
Oh.
No. Stand up, bitch.
I'm distracting you. Distracted driving. Distracted driving. Put me in the cup holder. Thank you. Jesus.
You're not in a cup holder
Put me
yet.
in the cup
I'm holding
holder.
you. I can't look away.
You don't know where your cup holder is, bro?
I have a charger on you.
Stop looking. Pay attention to the road.
I'm paying attention.
You're scaring me. I've never been in a car with you driving before.
It's fun.
I don't know if I trust that.
I'm a good driver.
Remember when we were on the orange line and there was that schizophrenic guy and he was like talking to himself? And he was like, he was threatening some guy and he's like, I'm gonna cut your dick off.
He's talking to his good friend.
I don't think so. He was like, I got a knife in my pocket and I'm gonna cut your dick off. And I was like, he's not talking to me, so it's fine. He's talking to that
Honestly,
invisible
yeah,
man.
like, the invisible man.
He's like, you can't take this knife from me. I'll hide it and then I'll cut your dick off.
Dude, he's so right though. Like that's how it works.
Are we at a light?
Like 7 cars in front of me.
They should invent a FaceTime call where like you can access the other camera. Like the person calling you can access both your cameras. I feel like that would be fun.
I feel like that's illegal.
You can like switch between them. You can probably
What
turn
would
it
you
off.
do?
So I can look the other way. Like I can look at what you're looking at.
Well, if you would look the other way, you'd be looking at
The inside of your
those.
car.
Yeah, you'd just be looking at the fucking floor.
Okay. I guess I'll kill myself.
Do I want KFC or do I want Burger King?
You want KFC? I was
Decide
literally
now.
thinking you should get KFC like a second ago. It's a prophecy.
All right, I guess I'm getting KFC. I
This is
need
a,
gas.
this is a great little intermission. If Sal ever makes it this far, it's gonna be funny.
Sal will.
I believe in Sal.
Oh my, it's hot. This bitch has been cooking.
What?
Don't worry about it. Was everyone's mother here? No, we're good.
It's not everyone. The phrase isn't everyone's mother. It's everyone
I
and
know.
their
I know what
mother.
the phrase is. I know what the phrase is. All right, now you gotta
Can I get a
right behind.
Can I get a
All
boneless?
right,
Can I get a boneless pizza?
shut up.
Thank you for choosing KFC. How can I help?
Hi. Can I get a? Oh God, I don't know. You changed it. Um, can I get a number 8 with
Fried tenders, sure two sides.
um mashed potatoes and corn?
Ew.
Okay, and the drink?
A root beer.
All right, different sauce.
Honey mustard.
All right, you want to try the cherry poppers tonight?
No, thank you.
The total comes to 13.56. Did you want to round up to the 14 tonight?
No, thank you.
Okay, 13.56.
And
Bro didn't even get
oh, she's
wedges
like,
and a biscuit.
hold on, bitch. I have to pay.
Your sides are gross. Hi, good evening.
Wait, wait, holding their horn down.
I don't hear it.
That was. I mean, yeah.
Can I get a
Thank you. What the fuck? No, thank you.
Okay.
You too. Dude, at the window, she asked me if I wanted to try cherry poppers. And I was like, no.
Do you want your asshole to be loose?
I was like, is that like a new thing? Cherry poppers? Why are they called poppers?
I mean, it's like jalapeno poppers, you know?
Okay, but why would they be cherry? That's crazy.
It's like a dessert thing. It's probably because they pop.
Stop.
They're pussy.
That's like,
It's probably because they pop your cherry.
they like
I'm
they
so
take you
funny.
out back. Like, fuck you.
Take you out
Get
back
this
and
guy
they
off
fuck
my
you.
ass, bro. There's 2 lanes.
Slow down on purpose and blast music. That's what I do. Whenever someone's on my ass, I turn my music up really loud.
Whenever someone's on my ass, I fuck.
Okay. Leon is like, whenever someone's on my ass, I arch my back.
So true.
So true, bestie. Can't believe you got corn. That's gross. Should've gotten wedges. It's like the best thing. Oh
It's
my god,
chicken,
Feng
mashed
Ching!
potatoes, and corn.
Sorry,
Huh?
it refreshed and I couldn't find them again. No, they were fucking. Where are they?
No. You know, there's a possibility that I've already liked it, and that's why you're seeing it. Thoughts?
Yeah.
Dude, I just drove by the store BJ's.
My friend Faith used to work there.
I don't know what it stands for.
I don't know.
It's just it's
I
just
don't know.
called
I don't know.
BJ's.
I don't know. But it used to be located in Mass on the border, and then they specifically moved it to New Hampshire so they could pay them $7 an hour.
That's
It's
crazy.
fucked up.
It's fucked up. Dude, Texas Roadhouse.
Bro, you can never go there.
They've made it better, but I
Did they have a
still
no peanut section?
no. But they got rid of the amount of peanuts happening.
Oh, okay.
Like I don't think they give out buckets of peanuts anymore.
I love going there because the butter and the rolls that they have is so good, bro.
Yeah, those
like
are really
cinnamon
good.
sugar butter.
Yes.
My fat ass loves it.
Me and my big fat ass.
That would be my big fat ass.
Dumbass? Nothing. What the fuck? What did you kill him, dumbass? No.
I forgot that
You kill him, dumbass.
Irving called Dylan a dumbass.
Yeah. I'm so scared for this next episode. I'm scared for every episode. It's scary.
Yeah. It's Wednesday, so tomorrow.
Tomorrow night. God damn it. I'm stuck at the light. Might be. I'm gonna fall asleep in here.
Don't fall asleep at the wheel, that's what I've done.
Oh, my bad. I can't reach. My bat fell apart.
No.
Thanks for the delay.
Oh my god, this video of the frozen flood in Detroit.
Yep.
Oh my god. The cars.
Yeah.
Quote tweet quick, another 20 billion to Israel.
Yeah, literally. Dude, this almost happens every year.
The flood and the freeze? Or just
Yeah,
the flood?
because the flooding and I mean essentially the freeze because it's a pipe burst. That's what it is. So
It's a what?
the pipe It's a pipe burst
Oh.
because it gets so cold, which is insane because it's fucking Michigan. Fucking know better.
Well, aren't all the
Make a better
pipes like
fucking
shitty
pipe.
lead pipes? Anyways, that's why Flint has
Not
shit
Detroit.
water.
Not Detroit's, or at least I think Detroit's. It's the reason why Flint has bad water is because they switched which water source. What the fuck? I'm stuck. They switched what source they were using.
Interesting.
Everyone else uses like I think it's Detroit, and then they switched it, and that's the problem. So pretty fucked up world we live in. You let go. Oh. One day they'll actually fucking plow the fucking. I almost slipped on ice.
That would have been really funny to capture on my stream.
I would be really upset. I'm holding my drink. My diet Dr. Kevin.
Where are you going?
My home. Look,
I thought your
Oh, man.
stuff is in the dryer.
they'll have like 45 minutes.
Oh, you went home and left it there?
Yes.
That's
I
wild.
literally live down the street.
Okay.
I literally live down the street.
Okay. Okay.
Oh.
When someone finally steals it, you're gonna be like, can't have shit in Detroit.
Pop is spilling all over my fucking hand. I'm gonna have a
Bro, turn me around. I want to see Wesker. Wow, I get put into darkness instead.
You shut up.
I want to see Wesker.
Put this shit down before it fucking explodes.
What?
Look. We'll probably come out of there, so there you go.
Wesker. Wesker. Bro, he thinks you have company over. He's gonna hide from me. Well, cunty boots.
Well, thanks.
Where is he? Call him.
Wesker.
Oh. Yeah, he's scared. He thinks you have someone over. Oh, Wesker. He's scared.
Up, buddy.
Wesker. Oh,
Oh, relax.
I see his eyes. He's got the evil eyes. He's a freak. Wesker. Come here, Wesker. Come here, Wesker. Are you scared? His pouch, bro.
Hey,
God, you're in the haunted corner. Just look up from my phone.
Oh.
Bro, this post. I think Helena actually getting severed to begin with is so fucking funny because, like, why couldn't the Eakins just lie about it? Like, why did she have to actually do it? Bro, just lie and say your daughter took a severed job. It's not like any of the employees will remember. It's so true. Like, she could have just
It's
lied.
so true.
I think she just did it because she was fucking depressed.
yeah, she's like, oh, I'm just gonna try it. She was like reaching for anything. Wesker, do you want to say hi?
Oh, his ear. Oh, his butt. Oh, his face. Oh, his pouch.
Hey,
Oh, he smell. Oh, he kitty. Wesker. Oh. Kitty, kitty. He is looking for food. Oh. I wish your noise gate wasn't so fucking high so I could hear him meow.
let me
Oh,
turn
I
it
heard
off.
that one. I heard that one. Wesker. Oh. Oh, he's a boy. Oh, he's a boy. Oh, wow. Oh. 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 Oh, wow. His pouch hangs so low, bro.
I know.
He's swanging.
He's doing a show for you.
Oh my god, he's so loud. Meow, 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 ow, 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 ow. Oh my god, I love him. He's so talkative. Oh, Beyond completed a 4-mile drive.
Nice.
Holy shit, this picture of Ariana Grande. She's gonna die.
Is that the one where she's like reaching out?
Yeah, where she's signing a picture.
Yeah. It's
You
insane.
can see every single rib from the front of her. That's scary.
Alright. You lost your Wester again.
Alright, can I read now?
Yeah.
Hold on. Alright, so the mountains. Let me sit up. The mountains are closing in on them. They're gonna get squished.
Yay.
Run! He shouted. He didn't need to say anything. Pei Ming had already kicked down a wall, creating an exit. The group pushed through and dashed out of the main hall. However, they were still running within the holy temple of Wu Yang. The temple was extremely long, and beyond the great hall there were many side chambers, small alcoves, incense rooms, training halls, and so on. Thus, the group had to keep running, breaking down walls and kicking down doors as they went. At times like these, a martial god's typical way of getting things done really shined. But they had only crossed through 2 short halls when a giant boulder, half the size of a man, crashed through the roof and fell heavily at Shilian's feet. Huge boulders were tumbling down the mountain bluffs on either side. The rumbling noises were endless as more and more rocks fell from the sky. The big ones were as large as water vats, and collapsed massive chunks of the building's ceiling. The small ones were the size of human heads, but they also fell with astonishing force as they dropped from high in the sky. Fortunately, there was still one last bit of ceiling hanging in there, and everyone's considerable physical prowess allowed them to dodge in time. Only Hua Chung was at ease. As Shilian ran and dodged, he heard him beckon him to his side. "Gaga, wanna come here?" He turned his head to look. Hua Chung was following closely behind him, his step so steady it was like he was flying. He was holding a red umbrella he had produced from who knew where, and was grinning at Shilian from underneath it. The falling rocks were crashing hard on the surface of the umbrella, but Hua Chung held the handle steady with just one hand. Shilian quickly took cover under his umbrella. "Phew, that was close. Thank goodness for you, San Lang." Hua Chung flashed a smile and very thoughtfully tilted the umbrella more to Shilian's side. "Come closer." Even though it really wasn't time, Shilian felt a little touched. "Are you tired of holding the umbrella up? I can help you hold it." The others were fleeing and dodging, running like mad. They couldn't stand the sight of their 2 companions having such a lovely time, so they started to shout at them. "Hey, isn't that unfair? Hua Chung-zi, may I ask if you have any spare umbrellas? Can I hide under that umbrella too?" Hua Chung smiled fakely. "No, and no." There's a fucking picture. It's so funny. Whoops.
Aww.
Sillies, the sillies.
They're so fruity.
Let me take a sip of water. Alright. Shilian felt a little embarrassed at the other's objections. "Oh, this mountain certainly is strange," he mumbled, trying to slip away. Hua Chung had slid an arm around him unnoticed, however, which stopped him from doing so. "Gaga is correct. This mountain certainly is strange. Strange in the spiritual sense," he said leisurely. "There are 3 large mountains near Mount Tonglu, called Old Age, Sickness, and Death. They can move as they will within Mount Tonglu's perimeter, but they're otherwise no different from normal mountains. This is why some take them some take them as landmarks of Mount Tonglu. Falling rocks continued crashing violently around them, but there was nothing but peace and harmony under the umbrella. I see, Shilian replied. So, when Rongguang was disguised as demon of the swift life-extinguishing blade, the mountain blocking our path was one of those 3 mountain spirits? Lingwen was being jostled up and down, on Pei Shu's back, but still arduously tried to join the conversation. No wonder this holy temple of Wu Yang was constructed in such an odd place in the center of a valley. Its original placement was probably not so strange. Those 2 mountain spirits sandwiched it in afterwards. But birth, old age, sickness, and death are a set, Shilian said. Since the last 3 are present, where's the first? Regrettably, there's no birth. At least not what I've seen, Hua Cheng replied. Meaning there's no chance for life here, is that it? How cruel, Shilian said. A moment later, Banyu exclaimed, The mountain bluffs are still closing in! When they'd first entered the valley, the mountain path was dozens of meters wide, but it grew narrower as they walked further in. By the time they reached the gates of the Wuyang Temple, the road was no more than 30 meters wide. Now the space between the 2 mountain bluffs was less than 10 meters. The building and walls were cracking and bending from the pressure. Since the holy temple of Wuyang was made of stone beams and other such solid construction materials, it acted as a wedge between the 2 mountains as they pushed closer, but they might not last for much longer. We can't go forward or backward, so let's break through the roof and go up, Pei Ming yelled. The shower of rocks is nothing. Just knock them to pieces. We can't, Shilian exclaimed. Right now there's its temple wedged between the mountain spirits. If we go upward, what if they manage to hit us? We'll be squished and killed. During their exchange, the sides began to push closer, even faster, rumbling and quaking. The space they were in was now less than 6 meters across. Lingwen was still immobile, and he couldn't help but cry out. Can everyone please come up with something more quickly? If not, can you release me so that I can take my own measures? I don't want to get squished or killed, thank you. Fire was burning their behinds. But ideas didn't come so easily. As the space shrank to only the length of a person, Pei Ming suddenly gave a loud shout and leapt sideways. His arms pushed against the mountain on the left side and his legs against the other one on the right. He used his entire person to become a wedge, bracing himself sideways between the 2 large mountains. Even if I'm going to get squished, I don't want to get squished by these fucking things. I'll hold them back for now. You guys hurry and think of something. Everyone was stunned by his deed. Lingwen arduously gave him a thumbs up. Oh, Pei, what a man. Pei Ming forced out a reply through clenched teeth. Welcome. There was no need to describe the strength of a martial god. 2 mountain bluffs were still trying to press closer, but Pei Ming's tactic had halted their movement and forced a stalemate. However, Pei Ming was exerting all the spiritual power he possessed, and would surely not last long. As Shilian rapidly spun his wheels, trying to come up with a way to escape, the 2 mountain spirits were slowly gaining the upper hand and forcing Pei Ming's knees to bend. Seeing the situation was not going in their favor, Pei Shu cried, General, I will come assist you. Lingwen was leaning on his shoulders, but Pei Shu tossed him to Banyue before joining the ranks as a flesh wedge. However, he was just a mortal at the moment and couldn't use spiritual power. The brocade immortal on Lingwen could have been useful, but the person himself was too much a risk. Releasing him might add oil to the flame, or be like stepping on a venomous snake after falling into a nest of jackals. Banyue put Lingwen down. Me too. She had the body of a little girl, and her limbs were nowhere near as long as grown men's. Too short to wedge herself between the walls, she instead clapped her palms onto Pei Shu's back and transferred her spiritual power to him. Their combined power exploded, making their faces turn red and veins bulge on their skin. As for Hua Cheng, whose powers were the strongest in the group, he watched without the slightest hint of concern as he twirled the red umbrella in his hand. Suddenly, Shilian pounded his fist into his palm. What?
I said this fucking guy.
Yeah. Suddenly, Shilian pounded his fist into his palm and cried out, I've got it! I've got it! I've got it! I've got it! He had an idea. Since going forward, backward, or upward won't work, we'll go downward, Shilian said. Let's dig a hole and hide for now. Lingwen instantly latched on. A good idea. Will you please start on it right now? And Please hurry, Pei Ming choked through gritted teeth. Okay, okay, okay. Shulian was already stabbing crazily at the ground with Fang Shin to drill a pit. Sand and earth was flying all over the place. Beside him, Hua Cheng held the umbrella over Shulian's head. Not only wasn't he helping, he was coaxing him to stop. Guga, stop digging. Sit down and rest. No one could take it anymore, and they cried, Hua Cheng-zhi. What? Hua Cheng said. Ling Wen lay on the ground in a heap. Hua Cheng-zhi, you and His Highness are here as well. If you have any tricks or ideas, won't you contribute? None of us wants to be crushed into pancakes after all. He didn't voice the following words that no one dared to say. And if you don't have any ideas, can you please go be a flesh wedge too? Although Shulian was anxious, he still trusted Hua Cheng instinctively. As he kept digging, he asked, Sanlang, you have a plan, don't you? Hua Cheng chuckled. Guga just has to wait. You don't need to do anything. It'll be fine in a moment. Fire was scorching their behinds, and they couldn't even help but feel the burn, even though they knew Hua Cheng must have a plan. Ling Wen was about to say more when Shulian suddenly voiced a question. What's that noise? Amidst the loud rumbling of falling boulders came another strange sound, and it was approaching them rapidly. Kirsch, 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 kirsch. It was incredibly fast and coming closer and closer. Shulian thought the sound seemed familiar, like he'd heard it somewhere before, and he stopped his mad digging. Could it be? A spot beside his feet caved in as the words left his lips, revealing a black hole that was big enough for 2 people to drop in. The head of a shovel peeked from the depths of the hole, reflecting a bright white light. It was the Earthmaster shovel. The shovel peeked up for a moment, but then quickly withdrew back into the hole. A little late, but at least he made it, Hua Cheng commented. Let's go. Without another word, Shulian picked up Ling Wen and threw him down the hole, then did the same with Banyue and Pei Shu, then Pei Ming. With the wedges bracing the wall gone, the mountain spirits began moving much faster. Amidst the sounds of scratching and quaking, Hua Cheng circled his arm around Shulian's waist and held him tight. Let's go, quick. With Shulian in his arms, he jumped into the hole. Shulian was plunged into darkness. A moment later, a thundering boom echoed from above. The 2 mountains had finally fully pressed themselves together. If they had still been above the ground, they would have been crushed into meat pancakes for sure. After taking a moment to catch their breaths, a few small balls of flames ignited in the darkness. Shulian inspected the underground path they found themselves in. It was neither wide nor narrow, and was neat and orderly, as expected of a path dug by the Earthmaster shovel. The ones who had dropped in first were sprawled on the ground, panting slightly. Hua Cheng released Shulian's waist, and Shulian dropped the arm that had unconsciously gripped Hua Cheng's shoulder. He turned his gaze to the black-clad man holding the shovel. Let me drink. Let me get a cough drop. Let me leave you on this cliffhanger.
Yeah. Oh. Oh.
Hello?
Hello.
The man was also panting, leaning against the shovel and wiping away cold sweat. Shulian took a few steps closer, inspecting him closely. He looked like a neat and tidy young man, and somewhat handsome. Maybe a 7 out of a 10. Maybe a 7 out of 10. Why is he rating
that
it?
in there?
That's in there.
That's insane behavior.
But his looks didn't have much personality to them. He seemed like the sort of person who had very little presence. Shulian approached him, and the black-clad man looked up. Your Highness. But before he finished, Shulian had already seized his wrist. Where's Lord Windmaster? The black-clad man was shocked. Huh? I don't know. Shilian huffed a sigh, then said sternly, My Lord Blackwater, why keep up the act? Your revenge is none of my business, but Lord Windmaster was once your friend, and he never committed a crime or harmed a soul, so I hope... Lingwen interrupted. Blackwater? Your Highness, why do you think he's Blackwater? Their faces are different. Shilian looked back and replied doubtfully, Because he's holding the Earthmaster's shovel. Besides, don't we all know the key to a good disguise? That face is so ordinary, it wouldn't be noticed in the crowd at all. It must be fake.
It's only a 7 out of 10.
It's only a 7 out of 10. He's literally calling him ugly. As discussed previously, the first rule of disguise is to make the face plain as possible, and the black-clad young man before them was in perfect compliance. Even if one stared at his face for an hour or more, they would completely forget his appearance by next morning. There was no doubt this face was a fake. ... However, a moment later, the black-clad young man said, I'm sorry, Your Highness, but this is just how I look. The young man replied. Hua Cheng walked over and cleared his throat lightly. Gaga, this really isn't Blackwater. Pardon? This is his real appearance, Hua Cheng said. So this was a true natural-born pedestrian face.
Shilian.
Shilian is so silly. Shilian slapped his forehead with his palm, then quickly pressed his hands together in prayer and bowed an apology. I'm sorry. He'd been so certain of his theory, he'd bluntly told the man to his face that he was so plain he was completely unnoticeable. It couldn't be helped. That face really was the model for a perfect disguise. The black-clad young man also felt extremely awkward, and he waved off the apology. Don't worry, it's nothing. I'm already used to it. Your Highness...
This poor guy.
Your Highness Yin Yu, thank goodness for your assistance, Lingwen said. Upon hearing that name, Shilian blinked. It was only then that he realized that the young man's voice was a little familiar. He must have heard it a few times before. His eyes moved downward to look at the young man's wrist. While it was covered by his sleeve, Shilian was sure that it bore a black cursed shackle. Pei Ming also rose to his feet to double-check the black-clad young man's identity. His Highness Yin Yu. Well, I'll be. I didn't think we'd run into you here. What are you? Yin Yu scratched the tip of his nose with his finger and returned the greeting. Lingwen Shenjun, General Pei Jr. Suddenly a voice humphed. I don't know who this is talking. Oh. Yin Yu! You're that Yin Yu? The one who was thoroughly and miserably defeated by his own Shi-Di? The heavenly official's expression stiffened, but that voice continued. I gotta say, aren't you a little too pathetic? Banishment aside, I can't believe you turned your back on heaven and become a ghost's errand boy just like that. Compared to Xuan Yizhen, you really did so badly. To think you're his Shishang. The voice was coming from Rongguang, who was imprisoned inside the pot. Pei Shu stuck on a talisman to shut him up. Whether he was serving Junwu or Hua Chengzhu, Yin Yu was a petty official regardless. There was functionally no difference. Still, being in the same room as his former heavenly colleagues now that he had become a ghost officer was like a constable turned thief getting caught in the act by old comrades. The awkwardness in the air was stifling. No one knew what to say, so Yin Yu could only turn around silently and continue digging the path with the Earthmaster shovel. The group continued onward as the path was dug. Pei Ming still had his friend's brother on his mind. Since Hua Chengzhi managed to get the Earthmaster's shovel, does this mean the two ghost kings communicate with each other? When I asked His Highness before, His Highness excused my lord by stating he wasn't close with Blackwater Demon Xuan, and certainly didn't know his whereabouts. If it's possible, will you please give Demon Xuan a shout? Ask him, please, to release Qing Xuan if he hasn't killed him already. You're mistaken, Hua Cheng replied. I don't know Blackwater's whereabouts. Then where did the shovel come from? I found it on the ground, Hua Cheng said. So he would unapologetically admit to nothing. But what could be done about that? No one could do anything to him, and everyone was depending on him in their current circumstances. Pei Ming could only snort. All right, fine. Hua Chengzhi sure was lucky to come across a spiritual device so easily. Ling Wen was being carried on Pei Shu's back, and said out of habit, "That shovel belongs to a heavenly official of the upper court. Will Hua Chengzhi return?" Before he finished, he realized he was no longer part of the upper court, so there was no need to collect debts. No need to collect debts on his behalf. He shut up. Shilian rubbed his forehead, wondering whether he should ask after the matter in secret, when Hua Cheng spoke softly in a voice only he could hear. Blackwater really did ditch. After he stopped disguising himself as the Earthmaster, he tossed the shovel away in Ghost City and fled. I thought it might be useful. So before we entered Mount Tonglu territory, I sent someone to collect it. I see, Shilian replied. And here I thought I might uncover Lord Windmaster's whereabouts. This shovel is perfect for dealing with the mountain spirits, though. San Long really does think of everything and makes perfect plans. He only thought of it because I had a rough time when I was chased by those mountain spirits, that's all. Hua Cheng replied. Shilian couldn't help but imagine Hua Cheng at Mount Tonglu for the first time, charging through obstacles like a novice. Just then a few tiny balls of silver light lit up the darkness. It was the shimmering wraith butterflies acting as lights. Shilian held his palm under a small silver butterfly and looked upwards. Just what are these mountain spirits? Why do they attack us? It's hard to say what they are, Hua Cheng replied. When I first came here, they'd already existed for a long time. It's not that they're attacking us specifically. They'll try to stop anyone who wants to reach Mount Tonglu. If they can't block them outright, they will attack. Attack indiscriminately? Shilian wondered. If you think about it, their purpose is exactly the same as ours. But Lord Rainmaster and His Highness Qi Ying are both here as well. I hope nothing happens to them. Whoa, Wesker, put it away. Yin Yu had been diligently digging and opening the path, but he faltered for a moment when he heard Xuan Yizhen's name. Shilian noticed and glanced at him. He remembered that Yin Yu had encountered Xuan Yizhen while wearing a mask. At the time, he had acted like they were strangers. If Xuan Yizhen had known it was his Shishong standing before him, what would have happened? Ling Wen raised his head with difficulty. Your Highness Yin Yu, have you seen His Highness Qi Ying? He's come to my palace of Ling Wen many times to ask for my help in search for you. Yin Yu was stumped for a moment before he stammered a reply. Really? Yes, Ling Wen said. When you first descended, he came almost every day. Then, since there was never any news, he came once every 3 days, then once every month. Shut up. Until recently, he came at least once a year. He always felt there was a misunderstanding between you two about the Brocade Immortal affair, and he wanted to hear your side of the story, so he could help you explain it to the others. But there was never any sign of you, nor any word. Yin Yu fell silent. He heaved a sigh before focusing on digging with renewed vigor. He doesn't want to talk about it anymore, Shilian thought. Ling Wen was perceptive enough to see this too, so he didn't say anything more, and allowed Yin Yu to concentrate on digging. It was some time later when Yin Yu finally spoke again. Chengzhi, Your Highness, we've already dug 15 kilometers. Do we continue? The Earthmaster shovel worked as fast as the wind, tearing through the ground as if it were cutting tofu and leaving not a single mound of loose earth behind. What are you staring at me for?
Sorry.
Freaking me out.
It's the way that is said that the Earthmaster shovel worked as fast as the wind.
Oh, okay. And since their group ran like they were fleeing, they moved even faster than they managed above ground. Surprisingly, they had covered 15 kilometers in the blink of an eye. That's crazy. Shilian noticed that Yin Yu had included him in the question, which confused him. You don't need to ask me, he replied gently. It's all the same, Hua Cheng said. What does Gaga think? Shilian thought it over. Since we were almost out of the valley by the time the mountain spirits came crashing in, 15 kilometers should be far enough. The air underground is insufficient. If we stay down here, we might get dizzy. Let's start digging upwards. Yes, sir, Yin acknowledged. He instantly changed directions, digging upward at a slant and even erecting beautiful mud stairs as he went. This man really is an outstanding assistant, quick and efficient, and he speaks exactly as much as necessary, Shilian remarked to himself. Everyone followed behind Yin. After climbing dozens of steps, Shilian stepped on something hard sticking out of the ground. It didn't seem like mud or rock, so he looked down and crouched, using his hands to scrape at the ground. A moment later his brows knitted slightly. Hua Cheng noticed and exclaimed, "Gaga, don't touch." But it was too late. When Shilian stood up again, he already had a skull dangling from each hand. Everyone, a question. Did we dig into a mass grave? Pei Ming sighed as he pulled a femur out of the earthen wall, marveling at his find. Probably. Look at the structure of this bone. It must have belonged to an exquisitely beautiful woman with long, slender legs.
Bro,
What
this is the guy that's going to determine your gender when you're dead.
Stop. What a shame for her bones to be buried here. Regrettable indeed, Hua Cheng said. The leg is long, true, but that's the bone of a man. Once Pei Ming heard it didn't belong to a woman, he lost interest and tossed the femur away. To be more accurate, it's the bone of a man.
I'm sorry, Wester.
It's the bone of a man who was deformed after turning into a ghost. So there must be a corpse poison on it, Hua Cheng added. Pei Ming opened his palms, and sure enough, the places where his hands had touched the bone now oozed with green corpse chi. Can you ever manage to keep your hands to yourself? Can you? Ling Wen berated. Corpse poison won't do any harm. General is a heavenly official. It'll be fine in a while, Pei Shu said. That femur wasn't long and slender. It was also rather sturdy, robust, and light when swung. Pei Ming picked it back up and wrapped the end of it with a cloth to hold it. It seemed he planned on using it as a weapon. Your Highness, how come you're fine holding those two skulls? Shilian put the two skulls down gently and showed his hands to the others. As it turned out, his palms were radiating that same green, but the color was rapidly fading. Truth be told, I've been poisoned by corpses many times, Shilian explained. At least 800, if not 1,000. I'm quite immune to it by now. This level of poison is manageable. His explanation was oddly silly, and their companions almost laughed. Hua Cheng, however, didn't seem amused at all. He walked over and crushed the skulls to pieces under his boot. Shilian had spoken calmly, but he could tell Hua Cheng was upset when he heard the furiously brutal sound of crushed bones. He wanted to ask what was going on, but he couldn't help but feel that Hua Cheng's foul mood was his fault somehow. He didn't dare to pry further. A little later, Hua Cheng demanded quietly and flatly, "What's taking so long?" The surface shouldn't have been more than 6 meters away. Even if their slanting course had made the distance slightly further, it still shouldn't have taken this long. Yin was also baffled. I'm confused too. Wait, there it is. We've dug through. Right after Hua Cheng's inquiry, the Earthmaster shovel pierced the surface. Yin cleared a large hole and leapt out first. We're out? Everyone climbed through, but they were all puzzled the moment their feet touched the surface. Are we back above ground? No, that's not right. What is this place? Pei Ming asked. They definitely hadn't emerged outside, as the light was extremely dim. It was still daytime when we were walking through the valley. There's no reason the sky would turn dark so fast, Ling Wen commented. A few shimmering wraith butterflies flew out and circled the area. The group could finally clearly see where they were. It was an enormous cave, empty and spacious. The domed ceiling was extremely high and wide and looked like an ink-black night sky. They were surrounded by countless smaller caves, each of which led in a different direction. Shilian was amazed. Is this place man-made or naturally formed? Hua Cheng took a glance, his arms crossed. It's natural. Even though he still answered Shilian's every question, Shilian kept his previous moment of oddness in mind. The point we picked to dig upwards earlier happened to be right under this mountain, Hua Cheng added. We dug into it. Julianne nodded. I see. Then let's hurry and find the exit. I'll wait till you're done driving.
Oh, it's cold.
It's winter.
No, shut the fuck up.
Okay, I will.
Bro.
So dark.
Yeah, it's winter.
So true.
Oh. Oh. Fuck are you crunching?
Vitamin C drop.
PP. Bro, please drive faster. Oh, do not off the road in the dark, buddy. There's no fucking crosswalk. Alright. I'm gonna deafen myself again.
Yep.
nuts, cock, just.
Hello?
Oh my god, you scared me.
I almost slipped again.
Drive home.
Huh?
Drive home, bitch boy.
That's the goal, dude.
Whoa. Titties on my timeline.
It is on my time. Good for you. Yes. Dude, why are you fucking walking directly behind me when I'm pulling out? Can't wait to put on fucking sweatpants. Who the fuck is speeding next to me?
Me.
Of course, it's a giant fucking truck. It's not okay. How much left is there of this chapter?
I don't know.
Uh-uh.
my fucking Christ. Someone already took my fucking spot.
Do you not have a spot assigned to you?
No. Parking lot. Oh, fuck. Oh.
What is this Kevin Spacey video?
That upset you. You could have reached out to me. We could have had that conversation. But instead, you've decided to speak to the press, who are now, of course, coming after me because they would like to know what my response is to the things that you said.
Yeah.
You really want to know what my response is? Grow up. Did you also, by the way, tell the press that a year after we shot LA Confidential, you flew to Savannah, Georgia, while I was shooting Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, just to spend time with me? I mean, did you tell the press that too? Or does that not fit into the victim narrative you have going?
I don't even know who this. Oh my god,
I mean,
Connor Eats Pants trying to get him on Fortnite Friday. That'd be so funny.
you know that picture of the ant?
What?
You know that picture of the ant?
Oh, yeah.
I just want to show you something.
Yeah, okay. It's so big. There's two of them. One must imagine Sisyphus happy. Alright, stop showing it to me like it's your fucking ass.
Dude. So, earlier, I took off my binder and threw it. Look where it landed.
Okay. On your door?
On the... Yeah.
Wow, bud.
You know what? Fuck
Wow.
you. Fuck you.
Things land on things. Wow.
Um...
Oh, this angle. Your bed doesn't have all your blankies on it.
If I'm switching things out, I'm switching my sheet.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Dude. No.
Hello?
Buddy. Hello?
Are you gonna fold your laundry? Oh, you're redoing your bed?
Yeah, and then I have to fold my laundry, but stop.
But, hole.
You know what?
Oh, oh, he wants to play. He's full of it. Look at him. He's
No.
crazy. Play with him. You don't have like a string? Oh, his pouch is crazy, bro. Bro needs a tummy tuck.
Wesker, why were you playing with it?
Get like a string or a feather. Oh. 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 Oh, bro. Drag it slowly. Yes, yes.
Hey,
You gotta drag it slowly. Is he back there?
no, not yet.
Where the fuck did he go? Sir?
Oh, there he is.
Oh. Oh, yeah. Bro, he got it. He's a killer. Oh. He wants to pounce again.
God.
Oh,
Good
great.
boy.
Oh, he's full of it.
Oh, grabbed it. Hey,
He's a killer. He's a killer. Oh, his paws are still clutching it like fucking Mufasa.
come on. Come on.
You gotta drag it slowly, bro. Yeah, dude. Oh,
Doesn't even know what he's. Oh, something. What the heck?
I see his ears.
Making eye contact. Can hear it.
Yeah, dude. His pouch is like pressed up again. It's crazy. His fucking kangaroo pouch.
He's such a freak. Come here, faggot. I want to do this.
Alright, then fucking put your shit back on.
Are you gonna finish the chapter?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, okay. So they surfaced from their tunnel into a bunch of caves.
Yeah.
A few shimmering wraith butterflies flew out and circled the area. The group could finally clearly see where they were. It was an enormous cave, empty and spacious. The domed ceiling was extremely high and wide and looked like an ink-black night sky. They were surrounded by countless smaller caves, each of which led in a different direction. Shilian was amazed. Is this place man-made or naturally formed? Hua Chung took a glance, his arms crossed. It's natural. Even though he still answered Shilian's every question, Shilian kept his previous moment of oddness in mind. The point we picked to dig upward earlier happened to be right under this mountain, Hua Chung added. We dug into it. Shilian nodded. I see. Then let's hurry and find the exit. But which way? Pei Shu asked. That was the question of the hour. There were many tiny caverns that no person could possibly crawl through, but there were still at least 7 or 8 other cavities that were large enough for exploration. Shilian crossed his arms and contemplated. Split up into groups? It's the fastest way, Pei Shu said. Shilian dropped his arms. No. Splitting up is the worst thing we could do right now. If there's anything hiding in the shadows, it'd be too easy to ambush us. I'd rather take our time finding the right path than divide our power. Pei Ming wielded his new femur weapon. He seemed addicted to swinging it, and he spoke as he swung. Then we'll stick together. Let's try this way first. Thus, the group picked a path and followed it together. Hua Cheng and Shilian took the lead. After walking in silence for a while, Shilian ventured in a whisper. San Long? Hua Cheng had long since stopped showing any sign of upset, and he answered, Does Gaga have a question? Shilian couldn't bring himself to ask if he had been angry earlier, so he replied offhandedly, No, it's nothing. Just, this tunnel is so winding and twisted, like intestines. I'm a little dizzy. Do you want to take a break? Hua Cheng instantly replied. He didn't sound like he was joking at all. No need, no need, Shilian hurriedly said. Behind them, Pei Ming piped up. Did I hear that right? Your Highness, you get dizzy from a little walking? Shilian was a bit embarrassed by what he'd said, and he felt like he was forcing conversation, so he pretended he didn't hear Pei Ming's comment. Everyone, do follow closely, he said sternly. This tunnel has many twists and turns, so it would be easy for something to go wrong. As he spoke, he turned and looked back, and immediately stopped in shock, grabbing Hua Cheng to stop him as well. San Long! What is it? Hua Cheng asked, and then he turned to look as well, and he frowned. There was no one behind them. Pei Ming had not been far behind when he teased them. Now the dark cave was empty except for the two of them. Hua Cheng immediately gripped Shilian's shoulder, his voice dark. Gaga, stay close to me. Don't run off anywhere. Shilian held his breath tense and alert. Is there something hiding in the mountain? No, Hua Cheng said. But it's even more worrisome that there's nothing here. For that meant they were dealing with something that could come close undetected and steal everyone away right under their noses. That's the end of the chapter.
Wow. It's a lot of work.
Are you gonna fold your laundry?
Yeah, I have to do that too.
Jesus Christ, bro.
It's so difficult being me.
Oh my
I may
god.
just wait.
The next chapter's romantic, bro. I'm remembering things. It's kind of short. Can I read it while you fold?
No.
No.
No, because I don't want to fold.
Oh, okay. You're just gonna throw your stuff on a chair. Like a naughty boy. Fine, we can read more this week, please. Okay.